Hey, what's up there, Global Nobles? How's it going there, YouTube Nation? So, a lot of you have been saying that I should continue on with my story time, so here we have it. Story time. Now, this story goes back like years back. Um, I have to say that it's been a while since I even had, communication with certain people that are in this story. So when it comes down to it, back then we wish we would have had cell phones, camera phones, we were just stuck to those flip phones that pretty much never had a camera. So in a way, I pretty am thankful that video phones weren't available at the time, because this story goes way far beyond embarrassing, but it comes to a funny point at, to some standard. But it happened on one night somewhere in the winter time, and it was my friend's birthday. So we had Alberto, we had Erica, and we also had some other girl that I couldn't remember because I was just too wasted. But it was my friend Alberto's birthday, and we decided to go all over the place. We went throughout the city. We even went inside Central Park, I think it was. I don't remember what kind of, what park it was, because we were just pretty much getting twisted and we were just drinking publicly, although I wouldn't recommend that. But it came to the point where we just didn't have anything else to do, and we just ran out of, liquor, I guess, that night. So what eventually did happen was, I suggested, why don't we go on the Staten Island ferry? Now, when you suggest things like this, eventually some people might not be like, well, it sounds a little bit boring. But I didn't expect to get the, sure, why not? Let's go on the Staten Island ferry. Now, for many of you who probably might not know, you guys might have to Google this up. The Staten Island ferry is one of the most famous things that you should do when you come into New York City, because it is a ferry that goes from Lower Manhattan all the way to the island, the island of Staten Island. And back in the days, it used to cost 50 cents, but during the time that we went, they just decided to, get rid of the fare that you had to pay to ride on the Staten Island ferry. So we ended up, being twisted as we were, waiting for the ferry to come on. All of us were pretty excited, but it seems that I was a little bit more too excited, because I felt like if I was a little kid, and basically I couldn't wait to get on the Staten Island ferry. So once we go inside the Staten Island ferry, we were walking around and we started smelling food. Now, in certain boats on the Staten Island ferry, there are concession stands where you can buy onion rings, or you can buy burgers, drinks, and stuff like that while you take the Staten Island ferry. So we just didn't like the smell of the food. Like, we felt that, it was a bit too much for us. So we decided to go from the upstairs to the downstairs portion of the ferry. So, somebody ended up mentioning, yeah, let's just move to somewhere else from, in the ferry. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So, we ended up looking for the staircase to go down, when I said, oh, I found it. Here it is. I take one step from those stairs and ended up tripping on something. I don't know what it was. And I don't know whether I kind of felt like I was in a movie, or like I felt like I had to become part of a statistic when, like, noticing, how those memes go, like, at this point, he just fucked up. So basically, that's what ended up happening to me. I ended up fucking up because I lose my balance, I lose my stepping, and upon, like, taking that first step down, I pretty much did one of these stuntman tumbles where I tumbled the first flight of the steps. Like pretty much. I don't know what it was. I think I skipped like maybe 5 steps on that lowercase part. But not only did I just fall from that one part, I ended up flipping and doing another tumble down the second set of stairs. And I don't know what it was, but I think it had to do with my cat like reflexes that I ended up falling on my hands. I ended up pretty much doing one of these by the time I hit the floor. And upon like putting my hands out onto the floor, I noticed that there were a pair of feet right in front of my hands. And I literally almost kissed these feet. Like the feet that were right in front of me, my face was right there. And upon looking up, I noticed that there was, it was a guy. It was basically a guy who was who was just standing right next to the staircase, and all he does is just look at me, look up, look at me again, look up, and notice that my friends was still up there. And all he does is, "Are you okay?" I ended up jumping up like a tiger and saying, "Yep, I'm alright. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good." And my friends are just standing there. Like I just, take a look back and I notice that my friends are just still on the top of the staircase and just looking down with just a shock and awe. They were like, what just happened?" And as soon as they came down, they dust me off because apparently I had a couple a little bit of dust on my back. And they ended up telling me, "Dude, are you okay? Because you just fell 2 sets of stairs and you landed on your hands like if nothing happened, like if nothing went wrong with you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." And you kind of have this moment where you just don't know what to say right after. But I ended up telling my friends, "Let's just have a seat." And they were like, "Yeah, good idea. Let's sit down because, dude, you fell down 2 sets of stairs and yet nothing's broken, nothing, and you landed on your hands. Look at your hands." And my hands were pretty much red. They had like these like rosy cheek red hands because apparently like the way that I landed on my hands, it pretty much slammed the floor. And the guy at the end of the whole thing, like, pretty much left from where he was standing just to look and see if I was still okay because he was laughing at the time that, the whole thing ended. Like, he was laughing not only at the fact that my friends were still up on the top level of the boat, but the fact that I landed and almost literally kissed his feet upon, my my approach landing on what just happened. But the whole thing of the story is, it's great if you can pretty much intoxicate yourself to a level where you just don't feel any pain. But then again, it's not a good idea to go ahead and get really, really intoxicated to where things like this happen. Because in my experience, I can't believe I still remember this. And then again, I'm glad that cell phones with cameras weren't around because this thing would have totally been a viral sensation when it came down to it. And if totally my friends are watching this, yes, I still do remember the whole story. And pretty much y'all can just come back and say, "Yeah, I remember that." So there you guys have it. This is definitely my story of the time that I really got drunk and fell 2 flights of stairs on the Staten Island ferry. But then again, it was a great birthday that we celebrated for my friend Alberto, who, pretty much was the reason this whole thing happened. We just wanted to celebrate his birthday and make sure that it was a good one. And I'm pretty sure that he can say, yes, that was a great birthday for me to remember. So thank you all for watching. If you do like this, let me know in the comment section down below, or do subscribe if you guys want to see more story time come at you soon or later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.